Hello everyone, it's me again, GWFan the Softcore Brony, bringing an update regarding the current state of things in regards to MLP RPG 4. Basically, it's been bugging me a lot that I've typically been spending several days in between episodes as of late, so I stepped back and started thinking about the position that I'm currently in, which is mostly my own fault. It's not just that I've been working a lot in real life as of late, but also my own personal lack of preparedness to take on the game. I may have mentioned this before, but in case I haven't, I wasn't even remotely done test playing the game by the time I officially began the LP. I was only most of the way through the forest in Chapter 4, essentially with only one spirit under my belt, and didn't continue test playing until I was caught up. Pretty much forcing me to play catch-up for the rest of the time, as I would often test both dungeons and bosses and, well, random encounter monsters the day before, if not the day of recording, making me the least prepared for a non-blind LP that I have ever been. And as has been apparent, it's resulted in me falling behind on my test playing of my next game, in addition to taking too much time off in between episodes, far too many times. In fact, this past week I took a moment to look back and see where I started and came to a shocking revelation. The first episode came out on March 1st. I've spent over 7 months on one game, putting out only 60 episodes in that time. And that's the absolute worst I've done. At the most, I've spent half a year on much longer games, and I've come to realize how ridiculous this has been getting. So, despite finishing my level grinding to max level and taking a few tests against the next boss and everything, I put a lot of thought into what I need to do, and, well, I've come to the conclusion, for the sake of my channel, that I really need to move on. I've been through the main game. There's nothing but optional super bosses left, none of which I know in advance what to expect compared to most other LPs of mine. And I realize there is just going to be a lot more frustration and delays if I keep going the way I have. So, yeah, if you think it sounds like I'm saying what you think I'm saying, yes. I'm just gonna stop here for MLP RPG 4. In truth, it's not like it's the only time I've done this, as there is at least one other instance where frustration pushed me to end another LP a single episode before its real conclusion. And that would be Cutie Mark Crusader Warriors. Yeah, that's right, there is one more boss that I am aware of, the true last super boss, and one that made me not look forward to attempting to record, simply because, in addition to a million HP, the boss could basically choose to do 9,999 points of damage to one character, and kill them at any point she so chose. And at that point, I could be struggling to catch up depending on what she chose to do on the turn immediately following, also meaning that the battle could easily go south at the whim of the random number generator that determines what she does, and I might have to record again. The prospect made me decide I'm good here. I suppose the next boss from MLP RPG 4 was somewhat the same. It's actually 4 boss fights, one after the other, though the first 3 are honestly kind of easy. I mean, they can easily wipe out one character if you are unfortunate, but it's not anything you can't recover from. It was fighting Nurse Dashi himself that was not necessarily hard per se, but just drawn out and annoying in the worst kind of way. As far as I could tell, he didn't even really have any damaging moves outside of Forsaken, which does 9,999 to one character. And otherwise, he had a few moves that dropped HP to 1 and or dropped MP to 0. And it was that latter part that was making the fight take way longer than it needed to be, 500,000 HP notwithstanding. But it occurred to me in my first run against him that I was 4 turns into the battle and still hadn't done one bit of damage against him because I was trying to play catch up with MP. So it could be done, but that would have ended up being one hell of a long video. So yeah, my dread of finishing that fight ultimately swayed my decision. So there it is. I hate to say it, but I just kind of gave up, partly due to frustration in both myself and my own lack of preparedness, and my general dislike for super bosses due to how long they typically take to fight using the same strategy over and over and over again. Doesn't exactly make for a compelling video. So soon enough, I'm actually going to return to my old blind run of Hollow Knight, even though I'm now 7 months out of practice, and so far as I can tell, there is not much left to do for mandatory story outside of the final boss, and those 3 bosses I had to fight to unlock it all, of which are probably going to be among the harder challenges of the game, so fun! So, I'm GWFan the Softcore Brony, admitting the white flag on one LP, as I finish off my last test run of another LP that I've been planning for since I finished Breath of Fire 2, which is Breath of Fire 3. Hopefully with much less delay this time. Arrivederci.